A lot to do on this game. I want to get to a couple more points, and then we'll go around the horn and around the league and around sports a little later on. Here's Corey in Ohio who says hello. Corey, good afternoon. How are you today, pal?
Chris, first-time caller. Happy to be on your show. This is going to be a dynamite AL playoffs this year. I mean, it's to your point about, 162, and, you're peaking towards the beginning of October. But as an Indians fan, I like our position, just kind of laying low in the Central here, and with our great pitching staff. And I think that's the thing that I'm looking forward to most, is kind of just staying even here all the way through the last couple of months, and then exploding in the playoffs with Kluber and Bauer and perhaps Carrasco. And looks like it'll be Houston at this point. But what do you think about the
I think you're making, last year the Indians went into the postseason, 1 seed, 22 in a row in September. They had some pressure on them, and they ran into a hot Yankee team, and they blew the 2-0 lead. So, that was an issue. They sort of, they probably were a little stale in that Yankee series. Meanwhile, this year, you're right. They're kind of laying low. They're only 10 games or 12 games over 500. That division's terrible, so they never will be pressed. And they will go into the postseason sort of as the team that nobody thinks can win. They're going to go in there against Houston, a heavy favorite. Then they're going to have to play the winner of the Red Sox, Yankees, A's. And they're going to be the underdog if they ever got by Houston in that series, too. But they do have good pitching. You got to get Andrew. I mean, think about it. If they are healthy, they have Miller, Hand, and Allen, and they have Carrasco, they have Clevenger, whatever his name is, who's good. They have Bauer, and they have Kluber. That's 7 guys on the mound that don't have to take a back seat to anybody. So that's a very fair point. They could be dangerous in a 5-game series. I agree with you on that. What else?
Yeah, really, really love that position that they're in compared to previous years. Just a little bit off topic, but just want to say, I know you do some off-site stuff like you did at Shinnecock this year. You'll feel free to come to Canton, Ohio. We had a great weekend here in my hometown. It was fantastic. And if you ever want to come here and do something on-site, I'm sure the Hall of Fame would love to have you.
Good job there. Is Ray Lewis's speech over yet? 34 minutes. I couldn't listen to that if he did it in my backyard. Here is Mike in California. He says hello, and he is on Mad Dog Unleashed. Michael, good afternoon. How are you today, pal?
Hey, Chris. Before I get into my Chapman point, did you see Springer seemed like he had a really bad thumb injury yesterday? It looked like it was dislocated.
Yeah, X-rays were negative, though. X-rays were negative.
All right. Did you see it? Did you see what his thumb?
I didn't see the play. I did know about it, and I did see the X-rays. The X-rays were negative. No, I didn't see the play. It looked worse than it was. Okay, fair enough.
It looked like it was dangling. Okay. Let me get to my Chapman point. You had a caller before. You were comparing Chapman to Kimbrel, and you were saying Chapman's got 1 championship and Kimbrel's got none. But let me talk about what Chapman did in that postseason. Game 3 against the Giants, he blew the game. Game 1 against the Dodgers, he gave up, I think it was a home run that tied the game, so he blew that one. And then the last game against the Indians, he blew the game. Can you imagine if that game? You talk about what he did in the 9th inning, but let's say they trade zeros for a couple more innings, and then
Did you forget about Game 5 in that series?
I'm not saying he blew every game, but a good closer saves 8.
Well, no, Mike. He pitched Game 5, Game 6, and Game 7. He pitched Game 5, and good call. He pitched about 3 innings in the 5th game, down 3-1. Madden got killed for it, rightfully so. He brought him in with a 9-2 lead in Game 6, and then he had to pitch Game 7. Listen, Chapman's a hell of a closer. I got more respect for what that. No, I don't like him. Yeah, I don't think he's a good guy, but he's a hell of a closer, and he's better than Kimbrel at this very moment. We got more to do. We continue. Mad Dog Unleashed.